everyone, welcome to my English video. And today I continue to read chapter 1 in the Karma of the Mind of Tibetan author is a monk. And he turned himself, a man of no value and a drug addict, had aged into a valuable man by his work for life. He was then healthy again and overcame his addiction, and his wife and children were not infected with HIV. This miracle comes from the wish to do something for people and is a worthy reward for him. Thanks to his hard and action for the public, he gained a miracle. Usually, it's very hard for drug addicts to abstain whatever the way. Only when they bring benefit to life, they can get rid of their karma of addiction. Therefore, detoxification centers should help the addicts to work hard and bring practical results to the socially. Then the detoxification works because their labor results help them to eliminate their karma of addiction, thus destroys the brain, as in the case of this drunk man in Nam Định, Vietnam. The two extremes of the mind. We're going to consider the two different states of the mind. One is the ultimate clarity of sense, and the other is the confusion of the mentally ill. People who are mentally ill are unaware of anything. They can burn house, kill people, curse the neighbors on the light, but still think they are right. The opposite of mental confusion is the supreme wisdom of the strength. The strength sees the cause and effects of the past, the present, and the future, and acts precisely in every situation. The two extreme states of mind are made up of two opposing causes. One who always does good will have the sagacious mind of the strength, and one who always makes fools, speaks bad language, despises people, and does evil will have a mental disorder in the end. And we don't belong to those two cases. We are neither so good or evil. We don't have a mental disorder and are not saints. We are ordinary people, but it's lucky for us that we believe in the three jewels, which is a cause to become a saint later. So we hope that someday when we fulfill all the conditions needed, we will become saints in this life and wish all people the same. Building a perfect mind. The mind is not something that will be better if you want it so. The mind soul is our most precious thing in the world. So we shouldn't cling to or be proud of our property, position, or frame that people often wish for Our only wish should be for the mind of good deeds, virtue, compassion, humility, endurance, and this might will give us everything. If we don't have this might, no matter how rich we are, all of ours will collapse someday. However, to have such a might, we must base on the law of karma. The mind is not something that will be good or virtuous when we want it to so. Never does this principle apply to the mind only. No, in fact, there are many things in this world that don't work the way we wish. However, we are addressing these issues to clarify the confusion of countless Buddhists. Many people were very thrilled to read a Buddhist sutra or listen to a sermon and thought they were as good as indicated is their misunderstanding, and later when they did evil things, people were surprised that why they often went to pagodas and could do such evil things. They could talk about the morality in sutras or from sermons very well, but what they did was the opposite. They chanted sutras, listened to Buddhist lectures, and thought that they were good. They misunderstood, and many people did the same. To have a good mind, we must create a cause for it, but not just understand the Dharma, and our minds will be virtuous. We address these issues to understand two things. First, the mind is our most precious thing in the world. Thought it is invisible. Second, to make our minds better, it requires our long practice, hard work to help others, and we must act as per the Dharma. The mind is not something that will be better if you want it so, or that will be better when you understand the Dharma. Recognize these two things and we will have the misunderstandings that many people have. From now on, when we feel excited to listen to a Buddhist sermon, don't ever think that our minds are better, but keep in mind that our minds are still very even. And to have a better mind, we must have a hard, non practice, improve the mind, because the mind is the most precious in the world. The intellectual will focus on building a perfect mind as the background first. Buddha said, the mind is the master of all things. The mind is the master of all karma, and karma will follow us like our shadows. If we are asked, what do you look for in this life? Everyone has its own answer. Some will say degrees, some will say fame, some may say a happy home, and so on. But with people will say, I look for a perfect mind. And to have a perfect mind, it's important that we must correct ourselves, try to practice and do good to earn blessing, as our forefathers often said, let's correct the mind. However, because the mind is invisible, it's hard to be corrected. For example, if a stretch of road is broken, we can see it so that we fix it quite easily. If our roof leaks, we can see it so that we can repair it. Or if our hair turns white, we can dye it. However, we want, but we can't not see our mice, so to fix them is not an easy thing. Through our parents often remind us, whatever you do, always pay attention to your mind. The mind is our most valuable thing in this life, so we must appreciate and shape it to make it something good in this life. But how can we fix our minds when we can't see them? You must know the way to make it so that we know how bad, good it is and correct it. What will be we base on to know if our minds are good or bad? Our minds are like a black hole in the universe. Black holes are huge, heavy, and unseen objects without shape. Scientists know for sure that there are black holes, but no one can see them, even with telescopes. But why do they know there are black holes? This is due to their impact on the surrounding objects. Observing the moving objects, they know there is a dark, invisible object. Our minds are the same. True, they are formless and invisible. There are ways of realizing them through our words and deeds. The evaluation of others is the same. We can't not see anyone's mind, but by listening to them, observing what they do, how they live, we can know their minds and we can use this way to see our minds. For example, see a respectable person and we don't respect but jerk them, then we are arrogant. Or see a disabled person and we don't feel pity for them but tease, then we should know that we don't have compassion. Or two Buddhists went to a pagoda together, but one was given drugs more than the other. He felt uncomfortable and told everyone, "The master is to be aid. We go to his pagoda together, but he loves my friend more than me. The master has no wisdom. Clearly, it is he jealously just because he was not satisfied with a tiny thing, he condemned even his master, and because of his jealousy, he could blame and trample on others and didn't find his faults. He should have seen his fellow's advantage, and that was the reason the master assigned more work to him. The truth is, he didn't understand that and condemned his master. This way, he made all of his morals and virtues go away. By his words, we know he was bad. If he had been happy for his fellow and thought, my friend is a good person and my master loves him. My master is wise and my friend is ethical. If he honestly said so, then he was moral. From now on, let's assess our minds before speaking or doing anything to avoid wrong words and sinning because of our evil minds. Be strict with yourself. Being strict with yourself is not to forgive your mistakes. We can forgive others and give them another chance, but not ourselves. We have to force ourselves to fix all our errors. This is crucial. For example, because of injury, you broke a glass in front of everyone. That action is very impolite. You should have been strict with yourself by repenting before Buddha and apologizing to all who were present on that day. However, you defended yourself by saying, "How could I bear a man to say such words? It's my character." You were supporting yourself, and that means you forgave yourself. You are not strict with yourself. That's why you can't improve your mind. Character, though, who are strict with themselves, they will in this case be extremely remorseful. They will on their least repenting of their mistakes before Buddha, then go to apologize to each person, but still feel remorseful. Thought that is, it depends on us either to continue to defend ourselves until our death and then go to hell, or will never forgive but rebuke ourselves for our mistakes for all our lives. Then after our death, we will go to heaven. Defending ourselves makes us very comfortable for now. Whenever we're done something wrong, think that we are right or have reason to do that or blame others, circumstance is an easy thing to do. If we do otherwise, never forgive but always blame ourselves and feel regretful, will make us very uncomfortable, because that makes us shameful and trivial. However, if we do it in all our lives, we will go to heaven after our death and very happy in the afterlife. So which way we choose? Don't be satisfied with what you have achieved. Never decide yourself after your faithful. Otherwise, you will have a faithful and try to overcome it, and then have ladder, and then will go to hell after your death. But to be strict with ourselves is not easy, because it requires extraordinary courage. A man through his labor over there is a woman who is about to deliver a baby. Can you please take her to the hospital? Just go across the grave and you will see her house. She is living alone because her husband is away. Poor her. As a Buddhist, the laborer also wanted to do good, but his were afraid of the dark and the grave, so he hesitated. Well, the man begged, "She will die if you fear ghosts. Come on," the laborer said. "Now I need someone to accompany me. Going across a grave, I am afraid I can't let her give birth at home rather than let me cross the grave." That is, he wanted to do good things but not brave enough to go through the grave because of ghosts. Here is another example. A person on his way saw some people fighting. He tried to protect the village on. When he reached home, everyone praised him. "Wow, how did you dare fight with Such tasks to protect a bullied person, a bullied person, one who dares to cross the grave to help someone or fight against drugs to protect the weak is brave. But this bravery cannot be compared with when one is strict with or blame himself. This courage is far greater. We can go through difficulty adversity to do something outside the body, but to blame yourself is very hard. Being strict with yourself does cost you any effort, but it is harder than climbing up the Himalayas. So people who can be strict with themselves never allow themselves to do wrong, and if they do it by accident, they will feel remorseful all the time. They are both wise and courageous and will surely gain the rebirth in heaven. Find the treasure to perfect the soul. We have to correct and improve our mind to make it perfect. But how we do it step by step, our practice is the look for the treasure of good less to improve our minds and make them holy and moral. Here are the most valuable things in that treasure: compassion, obeying Buddha, we have the love, unconditional and undying. Our compassion spreads across the universe, serenely as the bells sound in the quiet afternoon. Compassion is a fundamental and extremely important. We have to install and run it in our minds. In fact, this is not easy because the virus selfishness that has been existing for so many lives. We attack it in our many lives. We only love ourselves, our families and relatives, but not an acquaintance one. But now we follow Buddha, so we have to force ourselves to love many people, including easygoing, hard, or unacquainted ones. For example, when we come to a pagoda, we will meet both friendly and unfriendly ones. But we must force ourselves to love them all, those who have a loving face, because of their past blessing make us pleasant to look at, and those who, because of their karma, look ugly and upset make us unpleasant. However, this is the challenger for our compassion. Because we choose to follow Buddha, we must try to love unfriendly ones. In such a case, we must pray, Dear Buddha, please bless me love all such people. We keep saying this prayer many times. And when we go on the street, we will meet many strangers. Some are lovable and some are not. But we immediately beg Buddha, Dear Buddha, please bless me, have compassion for such people. We should always beg a Buddha or Leslie like that, especially when seeing those who are not easy to love. And 3 years later, our compassion will arise that we will have uh, accomplished something very precious in mind. And one who has compassion has a treasure more valuable than any in this world. And it's time's up. And see you again in this video in the bye.